meeting is
What's
being
up,
recorded.
fam? Welcome to Let Us Speak Truth. I'm your host, Nick. We got the panel here, and we got a few of our children. And I'm going to let Tanya introduce her daughter.
Hey, everybody. This is my daughter, Daria.
Yes,
Hi.
yes. And Trav.
This is my oldest daughter, and she's Kennedy.
Hey.
Hey, Kennedy. And this is my son, y'all. His name is Ronell. So
Hey.
I'm gonna ask first.
Hey, Ronell.
I'm gonna ask y'all first ages. So my son is 11, almost 12 next week. Happy birthday, boo.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
My daughter's
man.
15. My daughter's 15.
15. Okay. Kennedy, how old are you?
I'm 18.
18. Okay. So we got great ages. So
Yes.
today's podcast, y'all, is gonna be helping the younger generation. So Smiley was supposed to be on here, but he had it. He couldn't be on here for his own reasons. So these are the words from him. These kids get influence from everything. Our parents and our generation had to protect us more from physical danger, but this mental danger is insane. TV, music, social media, friends is not just entertainment, it's indoctrination. We got to do better, myself included. So my first question to you kids and of all ages, have y'all ever been in a situation where you felt bullied or you've seen somebody that was bullied?
I wouldn't say I've been in a situation where I've been bullied, but it's been numerous times where I've seen other people have been bullied online.
And did you interact in it, or did you help them, or did you just walk away?
It was times where I wouldn't say anything because either I didn't know the person, or if it was somebody I knew, then I would interact. That's the only time.
Okay. Ronell? Hold on, I can't hear you. Let me move the fan. Let me move the fan back. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Good tell. Yeah, you come to the school and turn them all down.
Seen someone bullied? Okay, interact.
You don't. No, but you say also you did. My father's son.
Hold on, he's talking. You gotta speak a little louder, baby.
Yes and no.
Okay, so you've seen somebody get bullied. Did you interact?
Yes and no.
And what does that mean?
Yeah, I told like an adult, but I never did anything.
Well, you did something because you told an adult. So that's doing something. So I'm proud of you. And Daria.
I did interact with one of my friends that's actually getting bullied, just because of how they looked and how their personality was, and the other kids that they was just like wasn't having it. So like, I didn't really be involved in the situation because it really wasn't my business. So I just tried to at least give her advice and just try to help her like get through some of the stuff, because you don't have to sink to their level just to be a part of whatever that they're a part of.
So let me ask Daria a question. Now, did you interact with the child that was bullying the other child, or did you talk to the child that was being bullied?
I was talking to the child that was being bullied.
Got you. Okay.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Trav.
I want to ask a question. So, for kids, and I guess she'll answer this. For kids who have a father like me, do you think that plays a role in them getting bullied or standing up for themselves in those situations? I'm just curious.
So I'm gonna put it in layman's terms for my almost 12-year-old. So
Okay.
do you feel like if your dad was not involved, or because your dad is involved and because you have Greg, do you feel like that helps you a lot being around not getting bullied? Does that help you? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to know that. What about in your case? Honestly,
Could you repeat the question?
does it having having a father around, or having a father that you know will insert himself in a situation like that, do you think that plays a role with you getting bullied or being more confident when you're at school? Like nobody's gonna mess with you, or you.
Nobody's gonna mess with me.
I mean,
Like
like
I'm
why? Like why? Like why do you feel like?
because I know that I have somebody that I can go to in case, somebody continues to mess with me. Mhm.
Mm.
But what if those kids don't know your father? What if they just think that because you're a beautiful woman and they're jealous of you?
Because
So what if they just try to pick on you because of how pretty you are?
to answer that question, I would say like this is where I have to step in and I have to stand up for myself because he's not gonna always be present. He's not gonna always be there to save the day. It's sometimes I'm gonna have to do things for myself. So in that case, that's the time where I have to, stand up for myself and hold my ground.
Right. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. If you guys knew, if let's say you had a friend that was very negative and that was on the wrong side of the tracks, they were just, but you kind of liked it, but you knew it was wrong. Would you follow their lead or would you tell them that they're wrong?
I would tell them because that's not me being a true. I'm not a true friend if I'm not telling you the truth.
And what would you say, baby?
I would tell them.
Yeah, you would tell them.
What would you say, Derry?
I agree with her too. Like you have to be if you're just gonna be like a real friend, at least you have to be honest with them and just not play the role of what they're doing because it's just not right. So you're obviously gonna have to tell them that if they're right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask Daria the question, the same question that you asked Trav. With me being an advocate, Daria, I mean, do I play a part, or do I I don't know, do I play a part, or do it make kids?
We're not there yet.
Oh, okay. I thought you
Not
was
there yet.
there.
I'm almost there.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna start with you. So, children on the panel, if your parents can do something different, something to make you feel a certain positive way, name one thing that you wish your parents would do. And we're gonna start with Daria.
Well, my mom has already done enough for me that she already tries her best to understand me, and especially when I have a sister that has autism, so she tries to deal with that when she's dealing with like anything else that's in her mind. But I think it's for her to understand more. I'm not saying she don't understand a lot, but like
Do
she
you,
just needs to
Daria, in a circumstance like that, do you feel like it's harder for you because your sister has autism?
like no.
Okay.
But yes, because since my mom has a lot of stuff going on her head, I don't want to have my problems in her hands while she's already dealing with enough problems. So I usually tell my dad my issues, and I'll usually tell my mom too. But
Okay.
usually I tell my dad because my mom already has
Because he don't have Daria. I mean, he don't have Kiki.
them.
Oh, I get it. I get it. Okay. And what about you, Miss Lady Kennedy?
Um,
Speak freely.
Speak freely, baby. This is
You got
speaking
it's
the
free.
truth.
It's free. You free. Whatever you want to say.
one thing I would say is I would just feel like what would be better is I feel like if they would just like try to just listen more if it makes sense. Like
Yep. Yep.
listen to like how I like actually feel.
I hear
Like
that a lot. I hear that a lot.
that's
Listen.
what I because
Okay.
I kind of feel like sometimes like it's like oh you shouldn't feel like that and it's like well how could you tell me how I should feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ronell, what do you say?
I think they need to give like real lessons about that because sometimes kids don't know how to solve their own problem. and they need some guidance to help guide them.
Did y'all hear that?
Barely. I
He
heard some of it, Ronell.
He says sometimes kids need to know more guidance. They can't figure it out on their own. So sometimes they need more guidance from what their parents are teaching them, basically. Right. So,
Very good.
whew, come on.
I know.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Judy and Amy, is there any questions that you guys wanna ask our children or the children on the panel?
You guys are around children, but you don't have your own children. So is there anything that you would want to ask them?
Or maybe tell them.
Or tell them for our future generation?
Always value yourself first and foremost, no matter what. It's one thing to respect yourself, it's something completely different to value yourself. So always value yourself. Your feelings are always valid. If that's what's honest to you, that's your honest feeling. Don't change your feelings to appease people. Be honest about whatever that is.
Right.
And love yourself first and foremost. And love doesn't come, it's not what it always may seem that you may think love is. Love is always remembering to honor yourself. You always eat the cake, you do not eat the crumbs. Because people will try to give you crumbs. You don't need that shit. I mean, stuff. So, see how natural that was coming out? You don't need that. I'm sorry.
Right.
But you don't eat crumbs, you eat cake. So if somebody trying to give you some crap and you like, that's not what that is. You don't have to take it. You say, I eat cake, I don't eat crumbs. So you give me the better part of you or the better part of this, but don't give me the leftovers because I deserve way better than that. I don't eat leftovers. You tell me, I eat the cake, I don't eat crumbs. Okay.
And I'm going to tell you something as a mother. We love you. We do whatever we can for you. You're majority of the time you're with us. We make mistakes, of course. We do have the guidance with your father. Always stand up for yourself. Never follow into negativity. Show out and show up to the ones that want to tell you to do wrong things. Show up and show out, and you let them know, nah, I ain't doing that. And they're going to look at you like, well, you're a simp. You're this. And a simp means weak. They're going to look at you guys like, well, if you don't want to do it, then you can't be around our crowd.
Thank you.
And at this point, you form your own crowd because there's going to be many boys and girls, ladies and men that will love you for being who you are. Never change for nobody. Love yourself and don't feel like you got to fit in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't have to fit in because you are your own unique person and you guys are beautiful children. Beautiful children. And always just focus on succeeding in this life and wanting to do better for your own life, not for anybody else. Forget about the people that are trying to bring you down. But what you can do for them is guide them with your strength, your ability of doing better, and guide them and pull them up because they can't pull you up. They're only pulling you down. So what you can do is pull them up.
And let me say this because this jumped into my spirit. As I'm looking at the kids, I see future engineer, future astronaut, medicine. You guys are our future. Okay. And things are not as going to be as easy for you all as our generation. Everything is changing. And we need our children to be more leaders because each and one of you all are highly intelligent individuals, and I can see and I can just see the beauty and the smartness in all of you all. But one question I want to ask: what would y'all tell each other?
Yes, if y'all three were together, and what would y'all tell each other? You guys are two strong women and one strong boy. What would you tell each other? One thing. I'll start with you, Daria.
I would tell them both is just like, oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, baby. Take your time.
I would tell them both just to like, you don't just be who you are. That's all that matters. If you just be who you are, people just going to accept you for who. And if they don't, you don't have to just worry about that. Just walk away and just move on to the next step. You don't have to care what other people think because at the end of the day, they're not going to be around you that much. And like,
Right.
just be who you are.
And
That's my opinion.
schools change.
And direct that towards the audience. I mean, within each other, but direct it towards the young ladies and the young men that are listening to this podcast, you know, that are out there struggling and don't know what to do. So what would you tell them?
And I'm gonna ask you, Kennedy.
I would say this all I have to say. Don't let anybody dim your light.
Mm.
That's all I have to say.
I like
I'm
that.
cheering you on, baby. I loved it. That was great.
Don't let anyone dim your light.
Shoot, no.
I had to do that twice.
We can
Yeah.
hear it.
And, oh, it was the clapping. I'm sorry. And Ronell, what would you say? It's okay. Think about it. So Ronell, he has a best friend who they go to school, and his best friend is really tall and skinny, right? And he gets picked on. And Ronell is not there when he gets picked on, but he sees the aftermath. And it makes him really upset, but he doesn't fight. He is quick to tell somebody what happened, or he'll video it, or one of his friends will video it and show the parent what happened. And he's not a snitch or nothing like that is what they call it, but it's because he doesn't go to the public, meaning the teachers and everything else, but he'll go, his best friend, we're very close with his parents. You know what I mean? So he has a hard time seeing his friends get bullied.
Absolutely.
But most of the people that bully his friends are afraid of Ronell.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I said, Ronell, did they ever mess with you? No, they all scared of me. So what advice would you give to Ronell Trav as a man when he sees his best friend, or doesn't see it, but hears about it later, getting bullied? Do you think they should continue recording it and tell the parents, or should they go higher than that?
Honestly, and and I gotta kind of hold back with my advice because about as subtle as a punch in the face when it comes to stuff like that. Like I don't understand that whole bullying mentality. I wouldn't allow it at all, especially one of my friends. So, but things are different now, and if you handle it my way, you get in trouble, and that's not the proper way to handle it. I would say, yeah, take it to the highest source you possibly can.
So should he
To
continue taking it to the parents or to the school?
school, do something about it. It ain't about snitching. You know what I mean? Because it's different now. People are doing things like you know what kids are doing. People are bringing guns to school. People are committing suicide. You have to say something.
You
It
do.
may save somebody. It may save someone's life. You have to say something. And for those who came along in my era, like you know, it's different, and I have to keep saying that. So I have to think diplomatically. I have to think what's the best, easiest thing to do, and the best, easiest thing to do in your case is, as a young man now, is to go and get somebody and notify the parent
Yes.
because
Okay.
you could still fix it and come home, and they can do something to hurt themselves at home because they're hurt, their feelings are hurt. So
Right.
it's a lot of things going on in that. Tell somebody, please.
You hear that? Okay. Let me ask y'all this. If y'all knew, if you three kids knew that someone brought a gun to school, would you tell somebody?
Yes.
Immediately.
Yes.
Yeah, because like it's like,
You
why
tell me.
would you bring a gun to a public school when kids can obviously get hurt? Like that's
Listen,
no. Like I will obviously tell a
I'm
teacher or a
asking.
principal
I never
or an
asked you.
adult that's
I
coming
don't know
my
what to
way.
do.
Okay. So yes, that's a definite yes. Ronell.
Because some could get hurt in the process.
Okay. Someone can get
I
hurt.
got one question. I got one question, and I asked her just briefly. Quickly. I said, "Hey, would you tell?" She said, "Yeah, most of." But I mean,
A bullet doesn't have any names. Yes, I'm
okay,
going to jail.
okay. But I'm asking you is, are you? Would you be afraid of repercussion from it?
If I saw it, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna go to somebody and be like, so and so has a gun. I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna
Oh,
go to
yeah.
jail.
So
No, like,
in other words, she's gonna be the anonymous teller,
Yeah.
and that's the way they go ahead, Tootie.
We had a situation kind of like that at the school when I was teaching, and it was a predominantly Hispanic school, and we had a black guy that was dating one of the Hispanic guy's ex-girlfriend, and they opened the door and they let the Hispanic guy in the building because they all knew that he had a gun.
Mm.
And so this black guy was a football player. He had gotten scholarships to a bunch of schools, all kinds of stuff. And so when they ended up meeting at the hallway in front of my classroom, and they had a fight. And the black guy had heard the Hispanic guy had a gun, and he beat the brakes off of him. The guy fell. He had the gun in his shoe, and he fell. And the police officer saw it, so she grabbed it, took it in the office, gave it to the principal. And the whole thing with that was these are people that claims to be friends with both of them, but nobody told authority that this kid had a gun, and somebody opened the school door to let him in so he wouldn't have to go through the metal detectors.
Oh wow.
But people knew. So my whole thing with that is, if he couldn't have got that guy, who's to say he wouldn't have shot somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I'm like, if I don't care, I'm telling.
I got one question before the kids get off. I know I wasn't gonna keep you guys long. If y'all heard gunshots in your school, what is the first thing that you would do? I'll go around now first.
Yeah, immediately. Because
No.
because y'all heard the gunshots after the football game. You saw me there.
If it's someone in the classroom, we would probably like run out of the classroom, run to the bathroom or something.
So if your teacher was to say, get under the table or go in this closet and lock up, you're gonna follow suit, right?
I mean, the people with the gun have been through school and know like everything that you do if there's like someone tries to break in. But so they could just like start shooting through the windows. But if it actually goes through the windows, it could hit someone. So why not just run out? Cause they could be on the other side of the school and you can like go to a safe route. But since they've been through school already, they already know what you're gonna do. They go under a desk.
Do you know the safe route at your school?
Hickman.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you ladies, if a shooter was at your school, what's the first thing y'all would do?
What I would do is first, when we all okay, so what I'll do if an active shooter is in our building, what I'll do is when the teacher just tells us to huddle up and like put the desk in front of us, then like lock the doors and cover the doors. I will do whatever it takes to protect myself and my family. So I will just follow the teacher instructions. But if the active shooter comes in and if I see a window, I think all of us should like get out if we all have plenty of time, or we should just fight the active shooter. That's
You said fight.
No, don't fight the active shooter. Don't do that, baby.
all of us can take on one guy. I think it's worth it.
Yeah. And what would you say, Kennedy?
First I'm gonna call my dad and then 911. Um,
Mhm.
and then I'm going to get in my car and leave.
But how are you going to get in your car if the active shooter is in your classroom?
I'm gonna go out through the window. I'm gonna go out through the window.
Listen,
Look,
y'all.
I got a 50-50 chance. I
Look,
got you.
I'm gonna tell y'all a bit of advice. If the active shooter is in there and he shoots somebody, play dead.
That's what that's what I was gonna say. I
Yeah.
was gonna probably
Play
cover
dead.
my face in blood and play. What?
You,
That's what you gotta do.
That,
Yeah,
that
that's what you're supposed to do.
yeah.
the first thing you do if they start shooting, you jump down and you play dead. And don't breathe, hold your breath, do whatever you have to do and play dead. If that active shooter goes in another classroom, you run like hell out a window, out
Please.
a door, whatever the hell you can get out of, and call 911 with everybody with cell phones because I know all you three have cell phones.
Mhm.
Call 911, call your parents, whatever. It's going to be on the news before y'all even can call us, but call 911, whatever you got to do. And on that note, I'm not going to stop the podcast, but I'm going to release the kids because I know it's late and I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. And ooh, we going to do this again. I love y'all. Mwah.
Love you
Thank you,
too. Thank
kids.
you.
Thank
Love
you.
y'all,
Thank
kids. Be careful.
Bye, Daria. Good conversation. That was a good conversation. Very educational.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. Why do I want to cry right now? Ooh.
Here's the thing though. I didn't know my daughter spoke the way that, she spoke.
Yeah, I like
Um,
her.
yeah. And
Yeah,
so,
we're gonna overthrow that motherfucker is what she said.
Travis, what's on the side of you? Because you sure keep looking over there.
Oh, good movie.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing, y'all. Seriously, and I always want to know this from whatever. Them dudes got on that plane in 9/11 with box cutters, right? Right.
Right.
Boy, I wish they would have got on it with some of them folks from Decatur and Atlanta with them box cutters. We would have. They should have got it cracking in there.
But I was wondering, did any of them have guns? Because I knew
No,
they had the
no,
little
no
bottle
guns.
bombs.
Fuck, I'm all this tonight. I'm sorry.
Y'all,
Because
we in the air. Ain't nothing you can do. It's up there. You you gon' at that point it's fighter. You can't. He got a
Yeah,
box cutter. Let's
a
get it
box cutter
started.
shit. Because you can't cut
Shit,
everybody at one time.
man, we
Right.
gon'
If we all jump them at once, it's on and popping.
I
okay,
think you
y'all,
just
no.
need 4 or 5 good hits, knock
hold
them out,
on.
tie
Cause
their ass up. I'm sorry.
Hold on. We're not gonna switch this subject because this subject was dear to me. So we
Okay.
got the kids on here. I love y'all, but we're not gonna switch this subject up. So I'm gonna ask y'all a question.
Mhm.
If a child came to you and said they were in physical danger, how would you handle it?
I would
Oh, we
ask
gonna
them
talk.
what's going on and what the situation is. If I need to alert the authorities or we need to go handle some business.
Okay.
so when you say handle business, what you mean, Amy? Because I didn't like your facial expression. What you
Maybe about to
mean?
go to jail.
I'm about to go to jail, okay?
Oh gosh. I am a documenter, so I document everything. Um, Daria has a cell phone. She lets me know when there's going to be some type of fighting at the school. I just went to the school on Friday because she sent me a text message stating that a little girl wanted to jump on her, yada 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 yada. So I was able to contact the staff and let them know this is going to be an altercation. Staff was able to intercede and, of course, break the fight up. I mean, got ahead of it of the situation. So, what was the question? I'm sorry.
If a child came to you and said they were in a physical danger, how would you handle it?
So of course, I'm such an advocate. I'm gonna jump all in. I'm gonna remove that child and take that child to a safe environment. Talk to the child, find out, like Amy said, what's actually going on, and then of course report it. I'm gonna report it whether I feel that it's minute or not.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, we need to see what's going on with you. And we need to talk about it. And do I need to talk to somebody? What do I need to do? I am a true advocate for kids, and any kind of abuse is abuse to me. Like, be it sexual, be it physical, be it mental, it's all abuse to me. And if you come to me because you got a problem, I immediately start working in resolution. I don't work in problems, I solve them. I don't have all day to keep riding this hamster wheel of the same thing when we can be working on the way to get rid of the problem. So that's me. So I'm an advocate.
Go ahead, little mule.
So y'all want the politically correct answer, or would you prefer the answer that I give? Because if you were bullying my child, I'm going to the school. I'm not gonna. There's no in between. None of that. Like, let's say I had my daughter, and another girl was bullying her. We're gonna go to the school. I'm gonna have a here. We're gonna talk to the principal, and I'm gonna ask for her parents to come to the school as well. And I need for her parents to know my child is not gonna bother your child. She's here for school. So this is shots fired. So you understand. Because if you do something and you fuck my child up, I'm gonna come and fuck y'all's house up. Period. I mean that from the core.
I
So
was waiting for
to
that.
evade that,
I was waiting for that.
to evade that, me pouring a gallon of gas around your house. Let's not go that far. Let's stop here and let your kid go to school to learn, and let my child go to school to learn.
Right.
If you impede that, then I'm not gonna hold the child responsible. I'm gonna hold the parent responsible.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes these kids these days are, out speaking their parents, running their parents, telling their parents what to do. So in that type of situation, Trav, how would you handle that when the kid is taking leadership?
I got it. Once you identify that, then okay, you're dealing with the kid, and that's a bad situation. So, but this is my thing. We had two here in Atlanta, and it's been a while ago. We had, I think, when they killed a guy. One of the guys was 13 and one was 15. They'd been terrorizing the gas station, just cutting up. People didn't want to go to the gas station. It was out in Atlanta. And there was a single mom. My thing is, if you charge the parent you got to make the parent be involved. A lot of people start throw their hands up and say, well, that boy too much and she's just doing what she wants. Well, at that point, what do? You know they're a menace.
Right. Let me ask y'all this question. Self-infliction. What if you saw scars on your child or even another child, whether they were burning or cutting? How would you handle that?
Well, I would talk to them and try to seek some help for them because I work in the mental health. I would try to see what's going on and what's causing the problem. And if they're not talking to me and they shut me out, then I would seek help to them, like with a psychiatrist and stuff, and find out what's going on.
But would you tell their parents first?
Huh?
Would you tell their parents first?
If it was my child?
No, if this was other people's children, let's just say, because
I would tell them, because you never know if they're gonna commit suicide or anything. You never know what can happen. You have to let the parents know and seek what's going on and make them responsible for whatever is going on with their child. And if that child is like getting burns and stuff like that, I would call their parents and I would see what's going on. I would ask the parent, well, what's going on? Why is this child getting burns and stuff?
Right. Go ahead,
And if they don't give me a good explanation, I have I would have to call child services on them.
Okay.
And in my case, I don't know if the child is cutting themselves because of the parent. So, or something happening within the house. I most definitely will take it to higher authority and let them handle it. But kind of stay in contact with them just to kind of see how it was kind of handled. Then if I see that child again, of course, I'll speak to that child and ask that child, how did everything turn out for you? Yada, 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 yada. And just to kind of see. But sometimes taking it to the parents, sometimes children do things because of the parent, or there's something that's occurring in the household. Sometimes, not all the time.
Right.
True.
Go ahead, Trav.
And I'm really not being that sensitive when I ask this. Y'all know black kids that cut and burn themselves?
Yes.
I do.
Yes, I do.
For real?
For real.
Yeah.
From where do they live?
Where they live.
Okay. So
I'm not being insensitive. I'm being serious.
I'm gonna explain something. So I have a personal experience with this because my sister was a cutter. And she started at 14 years old. Oof.
All right. It's okay.
You got it, baby.
You got this one, Nikki. You sure do. You got it.
I didn't believe her. I thought she did it for attention growing up until she almost died. And she's older than me. She's 56, almost 56. So for her to cut and I see all the scars and everything, every time I see her, she doesn't do it anymore. But every time I see her, I look at those scars and it's just like, ooh, I'm sorry, I didn't believe. So that's a personal experience for me.
Yeah.
You got to forgive yourself.
I do. I do. And she does too. She forgives me. But it's hard. It's hard.
Oh, yeah. I ain't say it was easy.
Yeah. And kids do it for many different reasons, and some reasons we don't understand, especially if it didn't occur in our era. We're living in a whole new different breed of eras, and kids are doing
Y'all don't
different things.
understand. There are so many kids that cut and burn, and you will never know. You
Yeah.
will never
They
know.
do other stuff. It's a lot of stuff. It's like sometimes people do stuff because this might be family situations where they might not be getting the attention that they need from their family, or they might not be getting the things that they need or the love that they feel that they need from their family.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's different. That's different. Because like I said, I don't. That's one thing I don't completely understand. You're saying, and I get it. So that's when I say, do black kids cut and burn? Because I've never heard that before.
You just
they do.
never seen it. You never seen it. But
no.
Truth be told, aside from my own sister, I have known 4 other people that I would never expect did it. And 2 of them are men.
Oh, wow. Really?
Wow.
2 of them are men. And you know where they cut? They cut on their inner thigh, cut on their stomach. They cut where it's not noticeable.
Or sometimes they cut on their wrist.
Well, no, that's noticeable. Majority.
But like, if you notice that they wear long sleeves, it's a lot of people that wear long sleeves.
Well, and I get that. I'm from San Diego, so we don't wear long sleeves out here. Girls, hot as hell. Yeah. It's hot as hell out here. But I do know that are. I hear a TV.
No, that was Alexa.
Oh. So I've known about 4 people, 2 being men, and they cut inner thighs. They cut their places where you would never see as a friend, because they're embarrassed of it and they don't want it to be seen.
Do they know why they do it though?
Huh?
Go ahead,
A
Trey.
man cutting himself. Y'all, I promise you, I'm not, this ain't for laughs. It ain't to be insensitive. It's
Yeah.
not for any of that. I'm asking questions because that mindset for me as a man, like, is completely strange.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm asking them, do they know why they do?
Well, I know why, because I've spoke to them, because I can relate to them because of, you know, what I dealt with my sister.
Right.
And they feel like they're not good enough. They feel like everything that they've tried to do in life and tried to succeed is failing, even though they're successful. So
Okay.
that's the hard part for me to like grip, because they're successful and they're doing big things, but there's still underlying issues. Go ahead.
So my next question, because I'm trying to understand it as well. So is the cutting a sort of punishment?
It's to feel pain on the outside instead of the inside.
Okay. That's what I needed to hear. I was like, I just wondered what they got out of it, but that clears up all my questions.
Yeah.
That's something that my own sister told me. It's to feel the pain on the outside so you stop feeling it on the inside.
Wow.
That's why they cut or they burn. Go ahead, Trav.
That goes back to my mindset again. I don't, and that's why, people get upset when I say this. Do I feel like you can be depressed? Yeah, I do. Do I feel like do I feel like there are people that need certain things to help them? Do I think that you can fall into a situation to where you're down for a while about something? Yeah, but and this is my opinion, being clinically depressed to where you cut yourself, I believe that's in your mind, and that's not real.
That's not
That's
true.
just the way I feel.
Okay.
You're entitled to that.
Hold on. You're entitled to your opinion.
Yes.
But majority of the people that I know that have done that have been raped, have been abused in some sort of fashion, have been bullied mentally. And like I said, I've only known a handful of people. So this is only in San Diego.
Yeah.
I mean, that I know of. I don't know. I mean, in the South, I don't.
No. I wouldn't say that. I agree with what you're saying. I think there's certain things in this life that you can't run from. And as a woman being raped, I couldn't even imagine something like that. That's such a serious situation. I read a book, or really was an actual book. I read an article on a lady that was in a plane crash, and she was the only survivor. And it actually, I heard somebody say, so I looked it up, and her mother's head was severed, and she was the only survivor. They found her a couple of days later. She went back to her country and never needed any therapy or any of that, and lived a healthy, long life. She saw it; it was bad. Now, when you say people are clinically depressed, she saw that, she lived. This was 50 plus years ago. She went through it. You get somebody that is said I'm being bullied because you don't like my shoes. I think that's weak. I don't understand that mindset. So it's hard for me to understand it, especially when y'all say like cutting. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough for me to understand why you would inflict harm. There's so many harmful things in the world. Why would you inflict harm on yourself?
Right.
Well, Travis, this is beyond your scope of understanding. Everybody's kind of different. You pointed out this young lady who, was able to see her mom head that was severed from her body. Okay, but everybody don't click and everybody don't walk the same way. Everybody don't feel the same thing. We all have different types of feeling and how we handle those things. So I take it that she was from a different country. Am I right about that?
She was like from Europe, something like that.
Okay, so I don't know what goes on over there in those type of countries, but I'm quite sure a lot of harsh things happens over there. So her mind was, she was probably mentally prepared for such things. They probably already have seen those type of things. But again, I mean, life within itself is depressing, and it depends on how one.
But why, Tanya? Why is it depressing?
Life could be depressing.
Why?
Somebody lost their loved one. If somebody lost their job, if somebody, lost their child, whatever the case may be, our bodies are different from each other. We don't speak the same language. We don't walk the same way. And we most definitely all don't sleep together.
Okay, one quick one thing.
Yeah.
You have a special needs daughter, correct?
I do.
We've talked about. Okay. Now I hear people say, "Oh, these kids, they're getting on my nerves. Oh, and I want to live my life." Well, you have been bestowed with the responsibility for a lifetime of looking after your daughter, honestly. And the bad, and that's not bad. I respect that. So you got to show strength and check the box even when you don't want to. You still got to do it because that's what it is. That's Now that right there is not a sign of weakness. You got to be strong in this lifetime to get to where you're going. Now, I always hear women talk, I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong. But then you got so many women taking pills just to get through this day. That ain't strong. I can understand if somebody raped you. I can understand a death. I can understand if you got a child that needs certain attention. But you just sad because you sad? No, you want
No,
some motherfucking attention. That's bullshit to me.
no, let me say something, Travis. Yes, I do have a child with special needs.
And I salute that. What you do is big.
But that was something that I didn't want to talk about or take ownership of for a very long time. I denied the fact that my child had this autism. However, it wasn't her autism that was trying to break me. It was the support system that I thought I had from the school. So you got school officials coming at you one at a time. I mean, all at once. That's depressing within itself. And then you're trying to maintain a safe environment within your home for your child. So a lot of it, some parents can't handle it and some can. I vouched to myself, because I went into this thing with prayer, that I'm going to stand strong. A lot of people just don't have that faith. It's very easy to say, but it's actually hard to do.
And again, I'm not talking about a death of a child, a death of a relative. So I understand you can be down. I get it. I get that. I'm not saying you can't be sad. But my point is, when somebody's just walking around, you got people that are wealthy, healthy, and got everything at their disposal, and this woe is me still. Gloom and doom. Oh, it ain't right. Oh, I think that's bullshit. That's in your head, man. I'm sorry.
And you're right. It is in their head, but you have to stop and think about it from this perspective. Everybody processes whatever they're going through differently. I choose to be a fighter because you won't know what it's like to walk in my shoes. Your feet are not made for the shoes that I'm walking in, fighting for my eyesight. Was I depressed about it? Yeah. Was I pissed? Yeah. Was I frustrated? Absolutely. I felt all of that because I'm human. I get to be there before I get to be anything else. So because you don't understand why they're taking a pill, maybe that pill is preventing them from committing suicide. Maybe that pill is preventing them from abusing their kids. So you don't have to agree that it's strong. That's not for you to say. What you can say is, I don't understand it, and leave it at that. Because sometimes strength, just because it don't look like what you think it should look like, doesn't mean that's not what it is. Sometimes strength looks like, I got up today and put my clothes on. Sometimes strength today looks like, oh, I brushed my teeth. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean you get to condemn people for something you don't understand. That's not for you to say. You say, I don't understand it. You do not get to say that makes that person a certain thing, because that's based on your personal opinion. That's not okay.
Tootie, what I'm saying is this. Your eyesight, that's real. I got that. If you're sick, that's fine. If you're saying, if you got perfect eyesight, you have healthy children, you are working a job, you're doing things that other people wish you were doing, and you're still saying I'm not happy, that's bullshit. I'm sorry.
No, that's not. What if you got a home? That's a nice house. but don't nobody give a damn about you. What if you got these 3 kids that can't stand your ass and waiting for you to die so they can get their money? You don't understand. Just because you can't put your finger on it does not diminish. It does not. Bottom line.
That's a cop out.
Like, okay, I
No,
want
that's
to say
not a
something.
cop out, Travis.
Hold on, go ahead.
You don't get to tell people they weak because you don't
I
understand.
know, but we live in the weakest society ever. People on antidepressants and all that for nothing.
Hold on, Trav. Go ahead.
Well, maybe they just found out they should have been giving that shit to their ancestors.
Amy, go ahead and say something.
First of all, Travis, my sister, she committed suicide. My sister had a nice home. My sister had a nice home. She had
for what? Why did you do it?
She committed suicide because she just was unhappy. It was a lot of stuff. It was people talking about her. Like, adults can be bullies too, you know?
Right.
Absolutely.
And people, and my sister, she was married to a pastor, you know? She was married and she committed suicide, and we thought that everything was okay, but she never really told how she felt or how much, she never really understood how much love she had in her family or whatever. It's different reasons. Sometimes the medications that the people that have mental illness take, they trigger people to do worse things, to hurt themselves and everything else. You don't never know what's going on with a person. Just because you're a strong individual, right?
No, I'm actually, are y'all listening what y'all are saying? You're saying adults can be bullied by other adults?
Absolutely.
Yes. You ain't never wake up.
What the fuck?
Try.
Hold up. One of my friends' mamas passed away. I was in charge of the repairs. Do you know them old bitches? All they didn't do was push me out. I'm saying, you can hang that up. Them old church women, they territorial. They think that's their shit. They are bullies. I don't give a damn. Yes,
I know a lot of adult bullies. A lot.
I'm sorry, ladies. I don't speak like this. I can't let this into my mindset. I don't even understand. There's no adult man that's gonna come to me and bully me for shit. That's crazy.
So you've never had a job where you had a supervisor that was over you that gave you the grunt work because they didn't like you? That's bullying.
Truly. But no, it's not, Trudy. That's not true. That's not bullies take your lunch money. That's not true. You guys
don't always. Okay, Travis. Nobody's gonna steal your lunch money, babe. What I'm trying to get you to understand is bullying isn't always at school. It happens at work. It happens on bus stops. It happens at church. Bullying can happen anywhere. Just because you don't acknowledge it as being bullying does not mean that's not what it is.
Listen,
real men don't even speak like this. I don't even understand that.
Travis, let me give you an example. Hold on. Let me give you an example. Okay, Trav.
Please.
I'll be right back.
Okay, babe. Let's say your 18-year-old daughter was with this guy, right?
Right.
And this guy is going through so much stuff with his family that he's taking it out on your daughter.
Okay. That could happen.
Right. So he's bullying your daughter by taking out his issues with his family on her as an adult. It's not just men saying, oh, you look funny, or oh, your shoes look shitty, or oh, why you got that outfit on? No, adult bullying happens in so many different ways. It could happen through your children who are adults. It could happen through your.
You mean my children to me?
Yeah, your children.
Can bully who?
Huh?
What child that belongs to me can bully me?
No, I'm not saying the child is bullying you. I'm saying your child is being bullied by her man.
Abuse happens.
Let's say your 18-year-old daughter is now 22, right?
Okay.
And let's say the 22-year-old male that she's with is going through some issues with his family. Those family issues are taking a toll on him. So he takes it out on your daughter. Your daughter doesn't tell you because she knows what you're capable of. So she tells her mom. And the mom says, well, baby, maybe you should just, step away from him, or maybe you should, no, mama, I love him. How many teenagers or almost adults or adult children have said, I love him. You can't tell me what to do. I want to be with him. It was a mistake. It's not serious. How many kids have you seen in real life? Well, you're 44, so
women do it all the time. But here's the thing. For me, I get you, Nick. I hear what you're saying. You gave me the scenario. I don't think that's really bullying. That means you like shit. And you're gonna have to eat shit till you don't like it no more. And then you get sick of him, you'll back off. But for me, what you all are saying, if a supervisor don't like you and he says, I'm gonna give you grunt work, okay, that's a scenario. Cool. But that's been happening since the beginning of the time. My thing is bullying. I don't.
We went through
it's comical. That shit's comical to me.
Hold on, babes. We all went through so many emotions and different topics tonight. It was about the kids, and my whole topic was about helping the younger generation. And we got on to bullying as adults. So we're gonna continue this topic another day.
I got one thing to say, please.
We're not gonna stop it. We're not gonna stop it. I just want to get back on topic for 10 minutes.
Okay.
So when I was mentioning self-infliction, and Trav, you said you ain't never seen that or nothing with
I don't even know nobody do that.
Exactly. Okay, so what about depression at a young age? What if your kid showed signs of depression? What would you do? Or how would you help them if they showed you signs? And what I mean by signs, let's say your middle child, your middle daughter, she wasn't as communicative as the others, and she would always just stay quiet, or you would have to go to her all the time and say, hey, babe, how are you? If you have to go to your child all the time and they don't come to you and say, Dad, something ain't right. Something ain't right. That child has to feel comfortable coming to their mother and father, right?
That's true.
Okay, so let's say your middle child never came to you and she was just quiet. She agreed with everything you said. She ate like you wanted. She was like a robotic child. And she never opened up. How can you get through to her?
You got to make a child like that comfortable, really, really comfortable. And what I mean by that, whatever they like or whatever it takes, most time is your biggest friend in that situation. Time. Even if you have to take a day off of work or some time off and sit with them, hopefully truthfully, the way the world is, hopefully you're in a financial state where you could do that. But sometimes you have to throw the money out the window and you have to go forward with a child like that and get their attention. It won't be easy because if they're if they're going through something and they're kind of quiet by nature, then you got that's a double whammy. That's a double whammy. But if you have somebody that's outgoing and they turn to be to themselves and quiet and all that, then you really got to work at that. You really got to work at that because you don't want to lose them forever. Because like you said, you have people that think differently than I. You have people that go through different things. And I'm not saying that I'm stronger than everybody. I'm not. It's just certain ways my mind can't compute. So when I listen to what people say, okay, how do you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, especially dealing with somebody like me, you gotta go directly at it and talk to that child and not be too aggressive and all that.
Right. Just open up and to where
open up and just be real with them.
Yeah. Okay, y'all. Well, I'm not going to stop it here. I'm going to say, in your opinion, what is one thing that you can do to help a child? What is one thing?
Don't judge them.
Okay.
I'm with Judy. Don't judge and be open and honest and have conversations with your kids.
Yeah.
And others.
Nice. Go ahead, Trav.
And I hear you all say don't judge. I don't think you should be viciously critical, but I think that constructive criticism, which can turn into with fair assessments. So you say don't judge, you can assess them and say, hey, I'm assessing you in this way and you're not doing this right. You cannot let a child walk through life and anything goes. They will become an adult and they will have an anything life. And you will look back and you'll wonder why they have an anything life is because when you were doing your parenting, you were saying, I was not going to offend them. I was not going to judge them. I was not going to tell. That's bullshit. They're going to become an adult. They're going to be lost. They're not going to want to know what's going on. They're going to be living in your basement and they're going to be fucking 50. And you're going to wonder why they're there is because you handled it that way. I'm sorry. I know people might not like my approach, but when you're a grown man and you got grown men that are not in relationships, they're not productive, and they're in their parents' basement and they're 35, that is a problem. He is not a productive citizen. He's not doing what he's brought here to do. So when you allow these nuances and say, well, I'm just going to let him do whatever, that's a bunch of bullshit. And that's that weak shit that I talk about. I don't understand it. So I got a little off track, but I'm passionate about it.
I get it. I'm that way.
I'm back.
Okay, hold on, Tootie. Go ahead, Ton, if you have anything to say to the younger generation.
Well, as I stated before,
you said
being judgmental. But I agree with Trav. I mean, there's a fine line between being judgmental and just giving constructive criticism. Of course, you're not gonna let a grown person 50 years old live in your basement, not working, yada yada yada, and you paying all the bills. So there's things that we can do as an adults to get their attention of our children. And again, that's open conversation and being honest.
Yeah. And I'm going to conclude with this, y'all. It takes a village to raise a child. And if that village steers away from any child's problem, they are the weak ones. Whether it's a family, a teacher, a politician, a police officer, or a so-called friend, keep influencing our child in a positive way, even if it's not your child. And on that note, subscribe to L.U.S.T. Let Us Speak Truth. We will be back on Wednesday. And we love y'all. Until next time. Deuces.
Bye.